The Beaches podcast is going to give you everything you want to know about a beach before you go there. I hope you enjoy the show. Be sure to check out our website, www.sandee.com. Without further ado, let's get into the show.
All right, so it sounds like we're diving into something really cool this time, trading in the typical beach vacation for something a bit more, should we say, adventurous?
Yeah, adventurous is a good word for it.
Because today we're talking about Qatar, specifically beach vacations in Qatar. And I have to admit, when I first heard that combo, I was like, Qatar.beaches, don't they have like a lot of deserts?
Right. And that's what makes it so unique.
Okay, so you've got my attention. I'm definitely intrigued. So what exactly makes a beach vacation in Qatar so special? We've got some articles and notes here talking about stunning desert landscapes meeting turquoise water. We've got modern architecture, cultural heritage, all this good stuff.
It's really all about the contrast.
Yep.
Imagine this. Picture yourself, you're driving a dune buggy through the desert, sun beating down on you. You're surrounded by these towering sand dunes.
Talk about an adrenaline rush.
Right. And then later that day, you're kicking back on a pristine beach, the warm water of the Persian Gulf lapping at your feet. And in the distance, you see the futuristic skyline of Doha glittering in the sun.
That's quite the visual. So we're talking about a place where you can get the best of both worlds. You've got these incredible natural landscapes, but also a really modern, vibrant city atmosphere, too.
Exactly. Qatar does a really amazing job of blending the ancient and the modern. So in the morning, you might find yourself wandering through a bustling souk.
For those who haven't had the pleasure, a souk is a traditional marketplace, right?
Yeah, kind of like an open-air market. They're full of life. Tons of energy, vendors hawking their wares, the smell of spices and incense filling the air, and you can find everything there, from traditional clothing and carpets to spices, perfumes, you name it. A real feast for the senses.
Sounds like a sensory overload in the best possible way. Okay, so you're in this ancient marketplace, soaking it all in, and then...
And then, a few hours later, you might be strolling along the waterfront, taking in the sleek, modern architecture of the Museum of Islamic Art.
Okay, now that's what I'm talking about, a beautiful collision of old and new.
Exactly. It's that unexpected juxtaposition that makes Qatar so captivating.
Love that. But of course, anytime we're talking about traveling to a new place, especially one with such a rich cultural heritage, it's super important to be mindful and respectful of local customs.
Absolutely. And that's especially true in Qatar. It's an Islamic country, so there are certain cultural norms that visitors should be aware of. For example, dressing modestly is really important, especially outside of the beach resorts.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anything else our listeners should keep in mind?
Well, I think it's always a good idea to be mindful of how you're interacting with locals. Like in some cultures, it's totally normal to strike up a conversation with anyone, but in Qatar, it's more customary to be a bit more reserved, especially when it comes to approaching women.
It's all about being sensitive to those cultural nuances. Now let's talk about activities, because it seems like Qatar has a ton to offer, both on and off the beach.
Absolutely. We've already talked about dune bashing, which is a must-do if you're looking for a thrill. But if you prefer water sports, Qatar's got you covered there too.
Right.
The waters of the Gulf are crystal clear. Perfect for swimming, snorkeling, scuba diving. You can even try kite surfing if you're feeling adventurous.
Wow, so many options. I think if I were planning a trip to Qatar, I'd have a hard time choosing what to do first.
You and me both.
So any final words of wisdom for those dreaming of a Qatari adventure?
We've barely scratched the surface here, but I think the takeaway is this. Qatar offers a truly unique travel experience. It's a place where you can immerse yourself in a rich culture, marvel at stunning architecture, and yes, even have an amazing beach vacation, all in one trip. Just remember to do your research, be respectful of local customs, and get ready for an unforgettable adventure.
That's fantastic advice. I think we all need to add Visit Qatar to our bucket list right now. This has been eye-opening.
Thanks for listening to the show, and be sure to tune in next week for your favorite episode about some of the best beaches and beach information in the world.